This episode is brought to you by Visible. Maybe you've already let your New Year's resolution slip. We all have, but you can still make a 2 year's resolution with Visible. Right now, you can get a one-line wireless plan from Visible for just $20 per month for 24 months. 24 months is basically 4 bachelor seasons. That could be 4 engagements, 4 broken engagements. So many other couples we didn't see coming. It's really an eternity in Bachelor Nation. And that's unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon with no annual contracts. Switch now at Visible.com and use the code VISIBLE24. Don't miss out. Offer ends January 31st. New members only. Promotional rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see Visible.com. This episode is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. All right, it's official. I think I've discovered the ultimate coupling of all time. Like any good relationship, they really balance each other out. One is super sweet, and the other, well, they can be a little nutty sometimes. It is, of course, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the perfect combination of peanut butter and chocolate. So perfect, some would call it true love. Find Reese's now at a store near you.
I'm Yasi Salek, and I'm the host of Bandsplain, a show where we explain cult bands and iconic artists by going deep into their histories and discographies. We're back with a brand new season at our brand new home, the Ringer Podcast Network, tackling a whole new batch of artists, from grunge gods to power pop pioneers to nu metal legends, and many, many more. Listen to new episodes every Thursday, only on Spotify.
Welcome to Bachelor Party. I'm Juliet Litman. I'm here with Callie Curry. Hi, Callie.
Hello.
You know, I'm really excited to have you on this podcast because we are going to break down how Casa Amor should work on Bachelor in Paradise based on how it does work on Love Island. We'll get to that later. But I'm also just glad you're here. You're kind of like the Romeo to my Kira, you know? Just looking to make it work. I mean, there's so much to dig into from those 4 hours of paradise. Where do we even begin? What was the hottest topic on your mind?
Well, I didn't have anything like written down for this question, but the first thing that came to the top of my mind was Justin in general, because there was a few things that he did that I was like, ooh. And you know, I love Justin.
Me too. Handsome man.
Yeah.
An
and
artist.
Then there was something artist. And then there were some things where I was just like, I feel like that's not fair for him. So it was a rocky episode for Justin.
I think it was a rocky episode for a lot of people. Many people went down in my mind. Michael A. just nosedived off a cliff.
Yeah.
Justin confused by his behavior. Logan, I'm just like, what were you doing with that pool situation? Are you just trying to stay around? Then Salley, I mean, disaster. It's just all a mess. But
Salley, Sierra.
Well, Sierra, I don't blame. We'll come back to that. Let's start with this first love triangle of Genevieve, Justin, and Aaron. So Genevieve and Aaron go on the double date with Shanae and James. More on them to come. Biggest shock. Aaron seems like a really nice guy. He was like really nice to her. I was like, when he was trying to make her feel better after she went back and made out with Justin because it was his birthday, I thought he was like really sweet and like said all the right things with like a healthy dose of humor. And I really enjoyed him. I was shocked, but he seemed great.
Yeah, he seemed like he had a mature response. Like he wasn't like,
he's like, yeah,
he
it's
made
paradise.
out with him, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he was like very normal reaction, very level. By the way, obviously we've talked about this, but like people don't have level reactions in this scenario.
No.
So for him to be like, yeah, I mean, we hung out for an hour. It's fine. We're good. Like, you don't owe me anything.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah.
Well,
whereas, by the way, Genevieve, I feel like has become like one of the stars of the show.
Yeah.
Like she gets the most airtime every week. But if it were flipped around,
yes.
Do I think that Genevieve would have had this level reaction?
No.
No.
Absolutely not. We know she didn't because when Justin went on another date or whatever, she was like so upset. And then
Justin didn't even kiss her, which when he made that point, I was like, wait, he didn't. He didn't even kiss Victoria.
I forgot that it was Victoria. Victoria also just a turnaround. I like her now.
I mean, she's just pretty normal.
The idea of counting kisses that Justin brought up, I thought was really funny when she was talking about how you didn't even kiss me. And he was like, what, are we counting kisses now? I really enjoyed that.
In general, in their arguments, they've had a few little like scuffles.
Mm-hmm.
Justin's points make sense.
Yeah. He is definitely logical, but he just kind of seemed lame. My biggest letdown is that I think Andrew and Justin seem like pretty just lame.
I don't think that they're lame. I feel like they're not that into it. Like, I feel like they just want to like hang out on the beach. Like, it doesn't seem like they're real. Like I feel like they want roses to chill, not to like find love.
Sure. Although Andrew and Brittany, I love it. That seems. I
do like them.
Me too.
Like, they both are super normal. But that's the other issue here, right? Is that the people that aren't,
they shine.
Level, normal, which, you know, one of my shining stars of this week was Casey, but
I forgot he was on the show. I don't think he was in the second episode.
He's too normal.
Yeah.
But like his commentary he was in the second episode because he like, you know, I guess kind of like Brittany or whatever. So he was talking about Pizza Pete. But his commentary in general, I'm like, yeah, that's what I would be saying right now. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like very relatable. I thought he was funny in the first episode with Michael A. But he's just not going to, like, nobody cares because like he's not going to bring anything to the screen.
Yeah, he's just like not trying in the same way. Like Logan making.
Do you think Andrew's trying? Do we think Justin's really trying? Justin tries like right when he's like, oh, I need to get a rose. All right, let me like rumble around and find something. It's not like they show him like actually trying. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. So yes. Well,
and even Genevieve was like, if Aaron was walking behind me, I know he's going to touch me somewhere. I knew for a fact if Justin was walking behind me, he's not. And I was like, yeah, no, because he was going to go hang out with
his friends,
Rodney and Andrew in the little daybed situation and hang out and chill. Like, it seems like, and I'm taking Rodney out of it because he's only been here for like 2 days, but it seems like there's like a group of guys that want to stay for the vibes, but not for actual Bachelor in Paradise.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I definitely agree with that. But I also just think that maybe they're not into these girls. Maybe they're just the women have more hope that like this could turn into something. And the guys are like, not that into it. Also, I think in the case of Andrew and Justin in particular, I just have to assume that if they go to a bar, especially if they're together and they're like with Greg, they probably just like crush it. Don't have to try hard.
Oh my God. They're so used to just being there.
Yeah, they don't have to put in any effort. And Genevieve is like, can you please try? And he doesn't want to.
No, he doesn't want to.
She expresses that in probably the most like cliche way possible, where you're just like, shut up, girl. But the sentiment...
Well, it's also hard. It's hard for Justin to take it seriously because of how she's explaining it.
Yes. Yeah, it's like what she's saying is not so absurd, but the way she's saying it is very grating. Plus, they've only known each other for a week. So it's not even like they've had like 3 dates over the course of 3 weeks. And she's just like, are you into me or not? Like, what's next? Like, she's just so hard going into this. And then
she falls head over heels in 24 hours.
Yeah, seriously. I'm just like, what's your type? Like, she seemed obsessed with Clayton. She's into Aaron. She's into Justin. Those 3 men, they're all like in shape. And that's basically all they have in common.
Yeah. I mean, even on this season, I'm like, Aaron and Justin are so opposites. Like, Aaron is like frat boy to the core. Yeah. And Justin's like the opposite of that.
Justin's like seems kind of quiet. I mean, I guess he is because he didn't talk that much on Katie's season. But like, she's confusing. But I do think that like she and Shanae and Jill, these women just want to be wanted. Which again, like I understand like that. Who doesn't? But the way they express it is tough.
Well, I don't know if we want to jump into this right now. I actually don't think that we want to, but I do think it's interesting the women that they casted for this first half and who they casted for the second half.
Let's talk about that. So the beginning, we have Genevieve, Jill, Shanae. We had Hunter. We had Haley Bailey. There's Serene. Brittany. Did we mention her? Teddy. Who else? Luce. Kira. And
Not
Salley.
everyone?
It's almost all of them. And then coming in,
Mhm.
we've got Kate. Who else is coming? Kate obviously stood out because we talked to her. But what was kind of like, what were you thinking?
I know what they look like.
Yeah, me
but
too.
I don't know their names.
It's okay.
It seems like they casted a few who they thought for sure would be in solid relationships. I think they thought for sure that Serene would be in a solid relationship. I think they thought for sure Teddy would be in a solid relationship. Obviously, that didn't work out, but I'm thinking like a producer. I think that they thought that Victoria F or Genevieve would be in a solid relationship. And then they casted a whole bunch of women that on their seasons, I don't know what their like general life is, but were kind of like given zero attention.
Right.
Or had some sort of issue. So there's like Jill, there's Hunter, there's Haley Bailey, there's Shanae. Like, it's like kind of like a group of like ragamuffins. Is there something wrong with that thing?
I think it's okay. If there is, we'll edit it out.
Okay. Well, I don't know what it is if there is. So I apologize if there is. Anyway, it's like just a weird group for all the people you have in Bachelor Nation. It's not the group you would think would be chosen for this.
I'm not saying I think this, but like outside of like Serene and Teddy, and I guess Victoria F, it's kind of like a lot of rejects, honestly. Sorry.
No, but that's what I was trying to say in a much nicer way.
I'll be mean here.
I feel like they're just wanting a relationship so badly. And the guys are like into it to get a rose. But it's going to be interesting because this next crop of women seem like more of the like 5-star standout. And like they seem much more confident and sure of who they are. And it's just interesting.
The next group, I can't exactly tell because I don't know all their names, but it includes Jasenia and Kate. And it seems like people who are just sort of like a little bit more just like down for whatever, / like Jasenia's been through it. She knows what to expect. Like she had a rough go last year. So we'll see what happens.
Who is the black girl from Clayton season that
she's so pretty? Yeah.
So pretty. She was so nice. But like,
yeah, she's in the group too.
Like, was very sure of herself.
I'm pulling up her name.
I just feel like, because I think she in the previews was with somebody.
Yeah, it seemed like she was making waves. While I look for her name, I will also Eliza. I think her name was Eliza.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I'll also say Zachary Reality, who you might know from, I don't know, Instagram or TikTok, exactly. I believe he said on Morgan Pop Talks, Morgan, who's been on this pod, that he had heard a rumor, which, by the way, I have no idea if this is true. But regarding Teddy, he had said that the producers wanted her to be in a relationship with Andrew S. And when there was no spark there and she was interested in pursuing other people, they basically like tried to shut it down. And that's why she left. And also why she has been not promoting the show on social media. And then last week when she left, she did post something about just like her life. And it was clearly shade at the show. And she wrote that something I'm proud of: 1, leaving environments that are cruel to me and the people around me, and 2, sticking to my boundaries no matter how many times people in authority try to cross them. And, this was clearly a subtweet, a dig at the show. And so that does make it seem like that's probably true. Who knows? But I do think that's, to your point, they really wanted Zachary Reality I don't say Reality like it's his last name. Zach Reality also said that the show really wanted Serena and Brandon and Teddy and Andrew to be together. And so it seemed like, that's probably part of how Brandon and Serena happened so quickly. But in any case, I think that definitely adds to your point that they are hoping there'd be a lot of couples to break up when they did this switcheroo.
Yeah. I think that they were hoping Brandon and Serene, Teddy and Andrew, and maybe Victoria and F. I put in Genevieve there too, because I'm not sure, but one of them were in a solid couple because it makes the Casa Amor thing much better.
Right.
When there are super solid couples and one of them breaks, it just makes it better television. The problem is, and what I don't think they accounted for, one, like, can't force people to like each other, right? So Teddy was just like, this isn't working, I'm leaving. So obviously they couldn't force that. Also, like, I don't know these people. Feels like we
You
do.
don't?
But I'm like, Brandon and Serene aren't the type that are going to go and like fuck around.
Yeah, Brandon definitely not.
You know
I mean,
mean?
what he did for Serene's birthday was very sweet.
Ugh.
Like, really trying to make her feel special. He seems like he really listens, which is really kind. When Brandon talks really earnestly to the camera, it makes me cringe, but that says more about me than it does about him. I just like, I feel awkward. But he's obviously
I know
very
what you
sweet.
mean, but I think it's genuine. I think it's actually who he is.
Yes, agreed.
But I think we're so used to when people talk like that, you're like, oh, this is obviously fake. And so it's like, ugh, to watch. But with him, I really, really believe he's a great guy. Like, the amount of guys that would have a conversation, first of all, they probably talked so much in the past week about like every little thing in their life. It's like, that's all they do all day is like sit on the bed and talk. The fact that he like remembered like this happened to her on her birthday. I want to make sure that she feels special this year. Like, I mean, what else could Serene ask for? Also in Serene's interviews, she keeps repeatedly saying like, no one has made me feel so seen, so special. Like, I don't know. That's like a huge thing.
I know. They don't even get that much screen time because obviously it's just like not dramatic. It's just like working. Yeah. It's sweet. Yeah. It's sweet. I'm happy for them.
There are a lot of not super stable couples that are for sure going to be put through the ringer next week.
So nice. I wonder.
Wait. Sorry. Just to go back because we didn't say this. I hated when Justin was like, I'm not going to get a kiss on my birthday.
Oh my God.
I was just like, ugh.
I feel like birthdays need to be deprioritized. It's just like, one of my friends, Becky, once said this, like a birthday is something that everyone has. It's so arbitrary. It's just like, yeah, you're another year older. Like, why do we celebrate them the way that we do?
I don't know, but when Aaron was like, wait, he said that? That's like a little manipulative. And I was like, yeah. Like, I love Justin, but that moment, I was just like, maybe I don't.
I think I no longer love Justin. Also, why was he making her feel bad? She was trying to be direct with him, and he was just sort of like, to your point, like he didn't want to let her go because he wants to stick around. And so I don't understand how he's going to get a rose. Like, they said there's 7 girls and 5 guys. And I'm like, how does James not get a rose and does Logan get one? Like, I'm confused about that because we know that Logan and Kate hook up. So I'm just like very confused about how the roses go. I guess there's one less guy though, because Romeo self-exited with Jill. Can we just talk about that for a second?
God, sure.
That I know that it was edited to show how long it took for him to respond, and like maybe there was something we didn't see. Because when she said like, so what are you saying? Like, I felt like she was responding to him saying something, but it's got to be one of the most awkward things to ever happen on the beach.
So awkward.
And he was so unenthused, and he probably just knew this was like a dignified exit or something. I don't know. That was horrible to watch.
Yeah, I feel like he was just like, she said her piece and he was standing there like, all right, so
yeah, he was doing the mental math.
This opportunity, or I get eliminated tomorrow.
Yeah, or I don't get a rose. That's embarrassing. Or I leave with Kira right now.
But like literally the way that the timeline had gone, he probably was thinking it's either now or tomorrow. Do I really want to stay 12 more hours to get eliminated? I'll just leave.
Yeah, and I think he made the right choice. But watching it take so long, I'm just like, Kira, take back the offer. Just leave on your own.
I mean, you were already gone. Also, you didn't even go to him first.
I know. And
like, I was like, what was the plan? Like, was she like, I really want to just go back down there and see if anyone will leave and go home with me?
I guess she's just trying to be cooperative, or I have no idea.
Like, was that the producer's idea or her idea?
For her to go back?
Like, if Romeo said no, who was she going to go to next?
I think she was just going to leave again, I guess.
I don't know. You'd think she'd leave after the first one, and she was just like, all right, let me go try.
The whole thing with Jacob, too, is like so embarrassing. Jacob, I cannot stand. I mean, I guess he's like nice enough, but like, I just am not a fan. I can't. Him and Jill, they both seem sort of like wacky, so I guess I get it. Yeah, kooky. But I guess like her being like, I felt really seen by you, and him being like, there's no connection there. It was too forced. That's the worst. That's the worst response. I actually don't know if I would prefer I felt a connection to, but as friends, or it was forced. I mean, both are really bad.
While they were having that conversation, I was thinking to myself, weren't you here and he chose someone else?
Yeah. Yes.
So it's not like she didn't choose someone else, right?
No, he gave someone else his
He
rose.
chose someone else.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he chose someone else. So you coming back and being like, I'm still here for you. He's like, yeah, I already didn't choose you.
I already opted to not be here for you.
Yeah.
So
I'm
what
like,
are you doing?
You were already an option. He said no. Why do you get to come back and ask him again?
I don't know. How did you feel about Jill and Jacob's date? By the way, I definitely did not know his name until this week. So at least I learned one thing, which is his name.
Tarzan?
Tarzan, yeah. They went to do the breathing that escalated to it sounding like they were having sex. They were all oiled up and then they were naked and saying what they liked about each other. back to back.
Howling like wolves. Listen, it's not a date that I would want as my first date, 100%. Also, unless we're having sex, I'm not getting naked on my first date.
I'm not getting naked on TV and standing back to back. I think that's just sort of
that's another level of absolutely not for me. I don't know.
I thought it was just bizarre, but I guess they were two good people for it. They both seemed excited and comfortable. So I could see that being a match.
They're both down for whatever. They could have done anything on the date. And I think the producers knew that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Part of me is they're a match. And then part of me is isn't Jill normal?
I'm very confused by her. So I interviewed her last week. That will come out later this week. And by the way, I talked to her before I saw this week's episode, so it doesn't cover all of it, but it was a good conversation. I really liked her. I was like, tell me about your career. It sounds really interesting. She's an architectural historian. She was very just super normal, very even keeled, very diplomatic. She's best friends with Rachel and Gabby. They're really close. And I was just I guess this is just a multi-layered, multi-dimensional person, and she can't be reduced down to a single storyline. But I do feel very confused by her based on the person I spoke to over Zoom, who was coming to me live from a very cute apartment outside of Providence, Rhode Island, to this person who was all oiled up. The oil was honestly that's a personal deal breaker. I hate feeling oily, so no thanks.
I oil my body every day before getting in bed. So that's not a deal breaker for me. But I don't know, there are moments of clarity with Jill, but then a lot of her interviews, she's cuckoo.
Totally. I know. I don't really get it, but I guess
usually
like her.
The interviews are more clear thought, right?
Well, she kind of makes a lot of sounds and it's
so
much anxiety, which is
yeah, lots of faces. Yeah, so I don't know. With Jacob, he obviously isn't
normal,
an average.
No, I don't know
person.
Anything about him. I guess I could look it up, but nothing about him sticks. I'm just sort of I have no interest in this man who likes to be naked and is super blonde. But that's just not a type that I'm into. She obviously she said it looks like he's from the cover of a romance novel, which is true. He does. That's just not appealing to me. So
yeah, but his personality is not. I don't know. I could see Jill with a banker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he seems like a super nerd to me, actually. I'm just the way he talks and stuff is deliberate, I guess. I don't know. He's the one who told Gabby that he was addicted to Gabby as well. So.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking you can't take anyone seriously that comes down in a leaf. But, Kenny came down naked and look at him now.
That's true. They're still fucking together. I guess there are just these weird couples that just make up. Here were Jacob's fun facts from his original bio. He reads 30 to 40 books a year. He loves to camp at national parks, and he doesn't eat cake. So he's just super normal. He's a low carb, regular guy. By the way, cake is great. So he's missing out. Cake. He's a mortgage broker. Couldn't be more regular, except for the fact that he's been naked on TV so much.
I mean, there's other elements that make him a little off. Would you want him to be your mortgage broker?
It depends on the rate he could get me. Honestly, I don't care as long as he could get me a good rate. So,
good rate.
Yeah, I just need to know what bank he's with, what we're working with here. And, is he willing to move heaven and earth for me to be able to meet my closing deadline?
By the way, tough market right now for Jacob.
Real tough, especially in Arizona, I bet. So good luck.
Do you think that this crop of people, were they looking for more of the who's going to do the craziest shit on TV than normal?
I don't know, because I don't think a lot of crazy stuff has happened. I mean, overall, if I wasn't like watching the show to do the pod and to like talk about it with you and everything, like what really happened this week that was so crazy? I mean, the worst is Pizza Pete. Like he's horrible. Their date, it's too bad she had to go on that date with him.
Why would he get casted on this?
I guess because he does crazy things. Yeah, I guess they wanted people to do crazy stuff. But like, I think this feels similar to the Gabby and Rachel, that like the fact that you're asking is like, I don't know what they're going for. Like, I don't know what kind of show they're trying to make. There's like, from the little that I've watched Love Island, though it has like the funny narration, there's like an earnestness to it that works because also the stakes are really low. But this idea of, I don't know. Actually, I don't have enough data points on Love Island to explain why it works, but this doesn't work. This is not working for me. I was like, holy shit, they're giving us so much about Jared and Ashley and Ashley's farts. And I was just like, that's not the show that I want.
Well, I just don't understand how they made it past, like, if we're on week 2 of them.
Callie, there's so many more weeks of Paradise. There's like 7 more weeks. It goes to...
Yeah, but are they going to stay the whole time?
I don't think so, but I'm just saying, like, what's going to happen on this show? It goes until November 22nd.
So a couple things. One, Casa Amor usually doesn't come till later in the season.
Yeah,
so it's like
I wanted
really
to ask
early
about that.
Casa
Too
Amor.
soon, right?
Too soon. We'd need at least 4 more episodes, 2 more weeks before Casa Amor. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You would think for a show that wants engagements, like that's their success rate, they would have more serious people.
I think they needed to play into friend groups a little bit more. Like, it seems like they did that a little bit with the guys, but the women don't really seem to like they seem, they're friendly and stuff, but I don't get like a really fun vibe from these people. I just want to know.
Teddy and Serene.
There's 16 episodes of Paradise, which is much longer than any Bachelor season, just to be clear.
What episode are we on?
We
2,
watched
4, 5.
This week we watched
4 and 5.
4 and 5, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Teddy and Serene were real friends, and maybe Joel's in that group too. And then now I'm like, so the best friends on this beach are Shanae and Genevieve?
I know. They're not like Eskimo sisters, but like, what is it when like you're dating best friends? Like, what is that? There's no term for it, I guess. Just frequently double dating.
No, yeah. Yeah, it's really weird, but they do seem to get along now. So,
I really like Shanae now.
Wash that beef. Yeah, I have no issues with Shanae right now. It looks like she's going to get into it next week, but as of now, no issues with Shanae.
I also can't believe I'm saying this, but I would choose James over Logan. I'm shocked to say it, but like, there's something about Logan that I just find so off. I still can't put my finger on it. I've been saying this like since July at this point. But also hearing him say he was a snorkeling instructor, then watching him like set up the like pool thing, I was just like, I don't know. Something about that I just found really annoying. I don't even know why. I just
assumed it was like a producer setup situation.
Well, she specifically asked him about that, and he said he did it.
You know what makes me think that he's actually not a bad guy? Because remember when they were talking about who doesn't have a rose, and who was it talking? Was it Andrew and Justin and Rodney? And they were like, he's such a great guy.
I guess.
About Logan?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just don't see it.
I mean, you don't see a lot of it. He was barely in these 2 episodes, by the way.
I know.
Like, all he had was that one little moment with Shanae. Outside of that, like, I was like, where have you been? Also, Shanae clearly wants it to be Logan.
Yeah.
But she's just like, I'll pick James if that's my only option. But like, show me an ounce of anything, and I'm like, all right, Logan.
I guess that's how he stays. She must pick Logan over James.
I think she does.
Weekly check. Logan's song is up to 8,000 streams on Spotify.
It was at 4,000, right?
Yeah.
Originally.
Yeah. He has 4,790 monthly listeners. So it's people hitting play twice. So congrats, Logan. This episode is brought to you by Visible. Maybe you've already let your New Year's resolution slip. We all have, but you can still make a 2 year's resolution with Visible. Right now, you can get a one-line wireless plan from Visible for just $20 per month for 24 months. 24 months is basically 4 bachelor seasons. That could be 4 engagements, 4 broken engagements. So many other couples we didn't see coming. It's really an eternity in Bachelor Nation. And that's unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon with no annual contracts. Switch now at visible.com and use the code visible24. Don't miss out. Offer ends January 31st. New members only. Promotional rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see visible.com. This episode is brought to you by eBay Authenticity Guarantee. eBay knows that when it comes to jewelry, authenticity is the real gem. When you see the blue check mark that says Authenticity Guarantee, it means your next piece will be carefully inspired by jewelry experts and will always be worth its weight in gold. Whether you're looking to make a statement or build the perfect everyday look, eBay is making sure you get the real deal. With eBay Authenticity Guarantee, you can trust that jaw-dropping piece will always arrive jaw-droppingly real. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal. Visit ebay.com for terms.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You might say all kinds of stuff when things go wrong, but these are the words you really need to remember. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. They've got options to fit your unique insurance needs, meaning you can talk to your agent to choose the coverage you need. Have coverage options to protect the things you value most. File a claim right on the State Farm mobile app and even reach a real person when you need to talk to someone. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We haven't talked about Rodney at all.
Wait.
Yes?
We haven't talked about Michael A. and Sierra.
It's a heartbreak. I now hate Michael A. I'm sorry, but I do. Okay, so Michael A. and Sierra break up because she is like planning on being a stepmom and he's not over his dead wife, which is fair.
Sounds really harsh, but yeah.
That's what happened.
No, it just sounds bad.
Well, that's because it is bad, because then she leaves and he stays. And it's just like, dude, so you're just a vibe guy? And it's like, you are just here to hang out? Like, I don't know. If you realize that you're still processing your grief, totally fair. I've never been in this situation. I can't imagine what it's like. But I'm just like, should you stay? Like, should you just like play the rose game to get someone else's rose? Or should you be like, you know what? I can't get engaged. I have to leave. Which, I don't know. I just was stunned that he stayed.
I had so many thoughts. So I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense at all. This is the second time now of you doing this, right?
Yeah.
I'm not ready. So why are you on the show? Totally understand not being ready and keep thinking that you are or whatever, but you're still there.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, were you just not into Sierra? And then that leads me to after she left and he was like, you know, I'm going to see this through, but right now I just need a drink. I'm like, no one is giving him a hard time. I really think if it was flipped around, people would be like, she's just okay. She's just going to have a drink and stay here and try to be in another relationship. Like, I don't know. I feel like people are giving him a big pass on this.
I agree. I completely agree. I am so out on him.
Also, I hated her edit.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I'm like, let's back up here. The last couple of weeks, Michael was fully engaged in these conversations that Sierra is having. They talked about his son. They talked about his ex. He said he liked those conversations. He needed those things. So I'm like, does Sierra look crazy when you guys are just editing her being like, oh, I'm going to be a stepmom, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But like last week, we were filming these same conversations and he was into it.
Yeah.
So I'm
it's
like,
on
let's
him.
not pretend like she's pushing this out of nowhere. You fully said that you needed certain things. And then, you know what? The fucking stars was the most thoughtful, kind thing that anyone has done on this show. Like, obviously, I loved what Brandon did and him listening, whatever. But like, I was just like, wow, she's really like, I want to make sure that you feel good about all of this.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't, him like being like, yeah, I think I just want to be friends. And I'm like, okay, so is it because you're not over her or do you just want to be friends? Like, be honest.
I think he uses his terrible situation to like get out of stuff, which is, I guess, a mean thing to say, but I completely agree with you. He just like treated her shitty. And also, I have to say, like, the stepmom thing, I think that's great that she was like, I'm ready for this. I want this, because he has to date someone who feels that way. And so, like, how could he to then hold it against her or be like, I feel like we're moving too quickly? It's just like, well, that's kind of on you. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm like really pissed at him. I feel angry.
I just feel like if I was getting to know a guy, it seems like it's escalating, whatever. Obviously, we know this is all on fucking insane. We're in a time machine here because like people think they're married after 24 hours. But I'm like,
this is the real hot tub time machine.
Yeah. They're progressing, and you're telling me over and over and over again, like, how many times have we heard that his son is his priority, and like, you know, he still is not fully over it, and he gets scared, which all of those things are completely fair.
Yeah.
Totally get it. But if someone was telling me these things, and also I saw you say these exact same things on your last season, then yeah, I'm thinking if I really want to build a relationship with someone, my priority is going to be your kid.
Yeah.
My priority is going to making you feel comfortable to move on. And for you to know that I am never going to take anything from your wife away from you. She's gone, but like, I don't want her to be forgotten. She's a part of your life.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, Sierra's saying every single thing that you want someone to say. Thanks. I'm just like, I understand it. Like, they try to make her look crazy. And I'm like, no, she's giving him what he's said he's wanted over and over and over again. Also, completely fine for him to go down this road with her, get to know her, and be like, I actually don't see it with you.
Yeah.
That happens, right?
Yeah, of course.
You can think you like someone, you can be attracted to someone, get to know them, and you're like, not for me.
Yeah.
But then that's what you say.
Right. I totally agree with you. Like, using the kid thing and like the grief is just like, that also just sucks for your kid and for your wife who died and her family to like see you doing that. I don't know. I think I now think he's quite questionable. And also, I just couldn't believe he stayed after that. And I agree with you. She got such a raw deal. Also, I would leave if I were her too, because like, you've put so much effort, and also we're getting so much positive reinforcement and positive feedback, and then it just like flips on you. Why would you want to stay
out
around?
Of nowhere.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a conversation of like, can we slow this down?
Yeah.
It was just like, let's just be friends.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
He just wasn't into her. And he probably was like, oh, I need to get a rose from someone else now.
Which I just feel like he could have been like, maybe during the day, maybe not after she gave you like the most thoughtful gift in the world. The next day you could have been like, I appreciated that so much, but it really scared me and it had me thinking. And I think we either need to slow down, or like, I don't see this with you.
It's just,
that's what he could have done.
Yeah.
Also, the way she exited, I'm just like,
I know, it's sad.
Could she be classier?
No, she's great. She also looked amazing when they broke up, as always. But like the glitter is not something I could pull off. I thought it was like, it looked great.
Yeah. But I was just like, she's like, I still care about him. And if this is what he needs, and this is what he needs. And
she's a great person.
I don't want to see him date other people.
She's now gotten a bad edit both times, because she also got a shitty edit on Clayton's season where she was made to seem like a mean girl. She's obviously not.
No. Oh my God. No.
Yeah. She's like,
also, I was
sweet.
Like, while I was watching this, which I don't know Michael's current situation. Like, I don't know. Does he stay? Does he get a rose from somebody else? Does he meet somebody else? I have no idea. Let's say he goes home. If I'm Michael watching this back, I'm like, I was in my head, I was thinking, is he not watching this thinking, I may have fucked up?
I think he's not, because I think he's a dick. Like, that's just my take. I think he sucks and like is an asshole. And there's no other explanation, honestly. Also, he seems really into being on the show. Like, he's, the primary narrator, essentially, outside of Wells. So I think he likes this, and I think he likes the attention. And maybe he just, like, wanted to get more attention. I just think the worst of him now. I think he's the only person I dislike more is Pizza Pete, who's awful. Who's just a joke of a human.
Yeah, he's a joke. I have to believe that he's playing a character.
I have to as well.
People aren't really like that.
I have to as well, except that, like, their conversation in the water was like so cringe, which was really the bummer.
Honestly, though, I laughed.
I laughed too.
I laughed out loud.
But
that
date
what
is
else?
my ideal. Like, I actually don't want to go. I find snorkeling like fine. But like, I would much rather just like hang out with a noodle in the middle of the ocean. That looked awesome. It's just like too bad she has to do it with him.
Obviously, that's not my ideal date.
I felt bad for Brittany. Once she got her hair wet, it never recovered, but she owned it. She still looked great. Very cute. Just must be the worst hair weather possible. I would look bad the whole time.
Yeah, it is. It's worst possible circumstances for hair. All types of hair, by the way.
Yeah.
No hair flourishes.
No, absolutely not. Like,
I think maybe if you have really, really, really thin hair.
But then you have really thin hair.
Like, yeah, but with salt, it turns into like
pretty waves.
Waves and gives you some volume. That's probably it. No other hair is doing well in this.
Awful. Just I would like.
But still, Brittany is like way prettier than she gets credit for.
She's really pretty.
That makes sense.
She's also really I think it's because she's very natural looking, like in her own way. Like she's really. I think she wears like less makeup than some of the others. I like her. She seems sweet. I'm glad that she and Andrew found each other. Pete is just like a buffoon, just like an absolute buffoon. And the way that he was like blaming her for like curving him was just like fucked up. I was just like, come on, dude.
Well, him being like, now I'm kind of convinced you did this for clout.
Yeah.
Also, I was like, what part of Brittany gives you ID, girl?
I know. She's
like the most normal, serious, like has real conversations. She's not like overly sexual at all.
I know.
What are you talking about?
I actually was going to say, I feel like she's the most confident person on the beach. And part of that is she's not overly sexual. She doesn't feel like she just needs to make out with whomever.
Yeah, she's just like being herself.
Yeah. I think that she's just has like a real confidence to her that is very appealing. And also like makes her a different type of person. Not like many of the women it seems like they were going for at first who would just like jump into relationships really quickly. She's great. Big fan.
I think I'd be friends with Brittany.
Yeah, she seems great. There's still so many things we haven't talked about. Just quickly, Jared and Ashley. I know we mentioned it.
Yeah.
This is a terrible decision. I like Jared and Ashley. They're nice people.
Me too.
But like, nobody
Great
really
story.
wants to watch a happy couple not have sex on the beach. It's like the opposite of the White Lotus. Everything that makes the White Lotus interesting is like Jared and Ashley, like great for them. They seem happy and like things are going well in their lives, but it really makes for bad television.
Well, my thing is, I don't know the statistics on this, and feel free to DM me because I actually want to know. I'm going to post on Instagram because I want to know what the answers are. I was thinking to myself, how many people are watching this show, are listening to this podcast, and started watching longer than 3 years ago?
I think very few.
Like,
especially listening to this podcast. We skew older.
Well, yeah, I'm listening to this podcast. But I'm saying, no, I feel like majority of the people that watch this franchise have been watching for a long time. Like, do they get a lot of new viewers? I don't think so. Especially not at this point.
I don't know either. But
their viewership is going down. And I'm like, yeah, because the 20-year-old is not like, oh, let me go watch The Bachelor.
Let me have 90 seconds
like us.
Yeah. Or
that are like, we've been watching this since we were 10. We're going to keep watching it.
It's damaged our view of love, and we're going to keep doing it.
But I'm like, we all know their story. I don't need to see it again.
We didn't need 3 minutes of Wells doing another Wells story time. Wells story time. One time maybe would have been funny, but like if this is going to be a weekly occurrence, pass. Which brings us to the Salley situation. What the fuck happened there? Salley, like, she just must have like a lot of secrets. Like I can't even explain why this went so badly. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
And like not even Justin could like get her to stay. What the fuck?
Okay. The explanation of her missing her flights for a work thing, I'm like, but you didn't even go to the airport twice because of a work thing? Didn't you know before? Like, we both work.
Yeah.
Could a last minute thing come up? Sure.
Course,
I understand the first flight. Let's say a last minute thing came up, you missed the first flight. Why are you booking flights and not showing up to the airport?
I don't know. Yeah, like cancel
2 times. I can't imagine a work thing happening 3 times in a row to where you miss a flight. Like, that's just not normal. I'd like to know, first of all, what does Salley do for work? Is she a doctor? Is she delivering babies? That would explain it.
I think she's like a nurse, or she works in like a medical profession, but she's not like a doctor. So
Okay, well, I mean, at least a nurse. Okay, maybe.
yeah, she's a spine surgery robot operator.
So did she have surgeries?
I guess, but those are usually planned quite in advance. If it's like, not.
I guess also if you're
emergency.
taking off work, they're not expecting you.
Yeah, they're not like, okay, so they've found your fill-in for the day. It doesn't really make sense.
How did Genevieve and Shanae know all of these details about her entrance?
I have to assume producers told them or something. I have no idea. Who knows?
Yeah, and then calling her a liar. But then, okay, what they did wasn't even that bad.
Yeah. When they just like asked
Like
her.
if I was Salley, I would be like, it's none of your business. I'm here. It's all good. I'm single.
I know,
You
she
can
was just
say what
like,
you want.
don't bring up my ex. Like it was like he was like a criminal or something.
And she's like, out of respect for him, I'm gonna leave. And I'm like, did they say his name? Did I miss that?
I don't. Also, like we already figured out who he is on the internet like months ago. So if you were worried about that, maybe she didn't know that because it had come out already.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So I don't know. She just doesn't make any
But
sense.
also, he's just a regular dude, right?
Yeah, he's like a surgeon, just a guy.
So
He's not like A-Rod in Madison or anything.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, is it? I don't really understand.
Me neither. I also like. I think there was a way to like play the Salley thing where like maybe it could be funny or like provide intrigue to the show, but they just like beat it over our heads. Like then with the guy bringing the luggage, Pauly dragging the luggage across the beach, and then when they like put like a bikini on the luggage, it's just like it's not that funny. Like that's a joke for the people who work on the
also,
show.
people
Not for us.
we don't really know Salley.
Yeah,
we don't
know
To
anything.
James's point, she's been on the show for a total of 3 minutes.
Yeah, like we literally know nothing. She sucks.
I do think that. Yeah, we do know that. I do think though it was like, and obviously we heard this over and over and over again too, but I'm like, you guys could have just added more women.
Yeah.
Like it really was, it sucked because there is not enough. There shouldn't be 6 extra guys.
Yeah, I think it was 5. 12 guys, 7 women.
It was 5, but then Salley came and left, and then James came. Or not James, what's his name? Peter.
Pizza Pete. Yeah, he sucks.
And then
I keep saying
Romeo
everyone sucks.
then Romeo left. But so it was 6 until Romeo left. And I'm just like, 5 guys shouldn't be going home.
I know.
They should have just dropped in 3 women.
Yeah. The pacing was off. And 3 women and less Jared and Ashley, as much as I like them. But it's just like, it doesn't make sense for the show. And they're not really hanging out with anyone. They're like alone the whole time.
Also, it was a lot of sitting around of the guys being like, we need more women. We don't have roses. We don't have roses. Like, how many times did we hear that? It was like at least 7 minutes of the show of different clips of guys being like, yeah, the numbers don't add up. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, because all the women are coupled up. And then there's just like 6 guys hanging around.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you could have taken less Jared and Ashley and less of there's not a lot of women content and added 3 women. And then that spices things up again. Then you have 6 guys going after 3 women and
also do more activities, more dates.
Yeah. Like, I don't need to see a Jacob and Jill date.
No.
I don't need to see, like, I would have rather had a new guy and a new girl come on and do a new date.
I think they should do some challenges like they do on The Challenge and Love Island. Like play some games and like inject. And they used to do that on Bachelor Pad. Like inject a little bit of that into this so there's more activity.
Also, some of the games they do on Love Island, and I don't think I watched a season of Bachelor Pad because I was too young, but the challenges that they do spice things up.
Right.
All the guys line up and each girl has to kiss one, marry one. Like they have ring pops. They give the guy a ring pop who they'd marry. And then they take a pie and pie one of them in the face. So like if you're Shanae and it's Shanae's time to go, who is she kissing?
Logan.
Who is she marrying?
James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have to do it in front of everyone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like,
Yeah.
let's say Andrew's still here and Teddy's still here. Teddy, who are you kissing? Who are you marrying?
Also,
like
then there's a storyline to get everyone to react to. So it's like we're all experiencing it together. So it's like you don't only have to rely on things that happened off screen, but you're like creating more of a world that we're all in, including the audience, which I think is like kind of basically the big problem.
Also, it gives them stuff to talk about when they're hanging around for hours.
Yeah. Like, can you believe that happened? Yeah.
That she picked these people or he should have handled that differently.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's an element missing. But I'm just like, how do you copy Casa Amor but not take the other? Obviously, Casa Amor is a great part of Love Island, but there's other good parts.
And so in Casa, well, hold on, we'll come back to Casa Amor at the end. But just I need to talk about Luce and Rodney.
And Rodney
Did not see that coming, but it makes me love
There's
Rodney
no
more.
way.
I love it. I don't know. I just think it's really funny, and like clearly he just wants to have a good time, and I'm into it.
There's no way that this lasts. So that's what I'm going to say, first of all. Second of all, I agree with you. It makes me like Rodney more because he's much more like him doing that to me with Luce. I'm like, he's doing what he wants to do. No producer is telling him to go for Luce. Sorry, they're just not.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's just like, oh, I'm into Luce. I'm going to go for Luce. She's my type.
It's great. Yeah, it's really great.
And I loved Justin's commentary. He was like, this is odd. And I was just like, yeah, it is odd. And I love it.
Me too. I love a weird couple, but you're just like, okay, if it works. One thing I also noticed with Luce, and Rodney, and also Jill and Jacob, there's this bed that's like not in the boom boom room that like they retreat to. And I'm just like, is this a new location they've introduced for couples? That like, it's like an indoor bed.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Ashley and Jared are, if they're not in the boom boom room, they're in like another room.
Then
something like that. So
I wonder if it's air conditioned.
I know. I would be retreating there all the time. I would be like, if I give out a rose, does it mean I can be in more air conditioned spaces? So Casa Amor, how does it work on Love Island?
On Love Island, it's later on in the show, and essentially while people are sleeping, the other ones are taken somewhere. Or they'll be like, guys, you have a guy's day out, which they do sometimes, where they actually do go to a spa, and it's not something. Cool. So you never know when it's happening. And they'll be like, guy's day out, and they'll leave, go to a new house, and then the women that are in the actual house send them their stuff. And then once they're in the new house, let's say it's 5 guys, 5 new women come in for that house. The women that are in the house, 5 new guys come into that house for them. So now there's 2 houses operating with 10 people in it. They're there for like 3 days, I want to say 3 or 4 days. And then at the end of it, the guys are coming back to the original house one by one. And the woman that's there, that's coupled up with the guy before they split into the Casa Amor, will stand up and say, I found a new connection, or I want to stick with my old partner. So if they find a new connection, then their new guy stands next to them, and then their old guy walks in. He either walks in solo, or he's decided he wants to go with his new connection, and he'll walk in with a partner. So it's the worst when a woman is like, I'm sticking with my couple. Like it'd be like Shanae being like, I'm sticking with Logan, and Logan walking in with Kate.
Oh God.
Yeah. So it's like or vice versa. The Shanae being like, I found a new guy, I want to explore this connection, and then Logan walking in single. So that means that he chose Shanae over all the other women that were in the house with him. But it seems like that's not happening.
Yeah, like the women just get tortured and the men get new women. I mean, that's so fucked up.
It's really bad. I can't believe that they would even think that it's okay that only the men get new women, and the former women just have to be in a hotel by themselves.
Yeah, that's like so not okay. I hope that they have the time of their lives, but they seem mad. Fuck you, Jesse Palmer.
I'm just confused. I'm like, you guys thought it was a good idea to only do this with new women and not new men.
It would be so crazy. I will be mad if that happens. It's like, so, I mean, obviously there's a lot of things that are like retrograde about this, but like just giving the men the power like that, I cannot abide. That's not okay.
Also, I'm like, isn't it the women's turn? Oh no, it's the men's turn with the roses, huh?
Yeah. But even so, like,
I mean, no, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Then they better do it again.
Everyone should be able to couple up if they want to this week. And then the week after that would be the men's turn with the roses.
Yeah.
Seeing just the women walk up, which the walk up slow-mo was really bad. Please rewatch. Weird. No. You have to rewatch and look at how they're walking. Like, I want to know what the producers told them to walk.
They look like they're doing like a catwalk, like a sashay.
It's so weird.
Like, we're here,
it's awkward.
bitches.
It's like slow-mo, but like,
yeah.
I don't think it's the camera making them slow-mo. I feel like they were like walking slow motion.
It's definitely partially
And
the camera.
Lots of shoulder
and like long strides.
movements. Oh, I was just like, oh, this is so cringe. I would never do this.
I know. This reminds me, a lot of baffling fashion. We discussed the upside down bikinis. Britney's one piece that's basically had like the giant middle cut out. I was just
Cutouts. Yeah.
I was just like, is that even comfortable? I don't know.
Okay, since we've talked about some questionable fashion, which by the way, I've seen so many TikToks about the upside down bikini, and I was like, how did I miss that? Serene looked fucking insane on their date. Like,
yeah, she looked great.
Whew.
She looks great.
When he started crying, I was like, I think any other time I'd be like, that was a little forced. I was like, she really looks magnificent. Like, I don't even, when she walked at the beach before he even reacted, I was like, wow.
I mean, she's just stunning. She is. And she seems like a great person. I love that she's a teacher. I mean, she seems great. 27th birthday. A lot of birthdays.
I would like I'm fine with her being my kid's teacher, by the way. Like, she's been,
yeah, very classy. Conducts herself lovely.
I also love that when they shove them, everyone's like, good reminder. I'm like, do you need a reminder?
Yeah, this can happen.
That's what you're here for. Yeah.
Also on the fashion tip, I noticed that like a lot of the guys are wearing plain white slip-on Keds. Is that a trend or were they given those at the beach?
I don't know. I did notice it too because they look a lot like the Fear of God slip-ons.
I don't think most of those guys can afford that.
Well, I don't know their financial situation, but I don't think they are the Fear of God ones, but they look like them. So I think they probably were gifted.
Oh.
I've never seen anyone else wear them outside the Fear of God ones, but yeah, I guess.
I didn't know they were like a Fear of God thing. I only vaguely know about Fear of God. Hold on, I'm Googling them. Fear of God slip-ons right now. Oh, those aren't that expensive. Like, I take it back. I mean, they're not cheap.
What are they, like $400, $500?
This seems to be $200.
Sure. They're like rubbery.
Yeah, they're foam.
Yeah.
But these guys are wearing Keds, I'm pretty sure. Or like maybe they're Vans or something like that.
But they're similar to this, right? Yeah, but just like style. White canvas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like they must have been gifted them or something because they like needed shoes on the beach or something. Because why would they all have the same ones? And there's no sandals.
Yeah.
There's no like grocery store Joe wearing his Adidas sandals and socks like last year. Oh man. So I'm talking to I have a conversation with Jill that's coming later in the week. Also just do some follow-up reminder. I didn't get to speak to her until I spoke to her before this week's episode. So FYI.
I think you're gonna have to like do a lot of
follow-ups.
Prefacing. I think your intro to the show you might need to re-record and be like, just so everyone knows.
Well, we'll have to figure that out.
I didn't get to ask her about this week.
Thank you to Jade Whaley for producing this episode. And thank you all for listening. Talk to you next week.
Adios.